You may remember that. So why am I here right now having agreed to deal with this book? Take a deep breath with me. Because it's a journey for me and for us, I think. Well, it's for me anyway. If everything occurs by God's order and by God's divine appointment, how did this book make it into our church this morning? Some say we're here to go to work for God. Some say we're here to serve the world. Some say we're here to evolve more fully into our true nature. And some rely on what is called the Great Commission. And I'm going to read the Great Commission to you from the Gospel of Matthew in its literal sense. Jesus came and spoke to them, saying, "All authority has been given to me in heaven and on earth. Go therefore and make disciples of all the nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, teaching them to observe all things I have commanded you, and lo, I am with you always, even to the end of the age." Go make disciples of all nations. Go beyond your own backyard. Go to places that are unfamiliar. Go to people who are of different traditions. Go listen to the Aramaic Lord's Prayer. Go and make disciples of all people. Be an example of the same spirit that Jesus brought to the earth by your love, by your unfailing enthusiasm, by your faith, by your strength, by your optimism, by your history of healing. Make disciples of the hopeless, the lost, and the forgotten. Go meet your neighbor. Go meet your neighbor. And then it says, baptize them, which to me means enfold, acknowledge, be connected, be related, not separated. See the holy in each person. Now, sometimes that's a challenge. It's particularly a challenge if you feel you are being judged. Are you with me on this? You know, in my life as a hospice chaplain, I have this great opportunity to meet with people of other faith traditions almost every day. And sometimes it's rich, and sometimes it's a challenge. But why else am I here but to accept whatever God puts in front of me? Well, sometimes I feel like it's a game board from a Harry Potter movie that has nothing, a clean game board, a big square of white, and I don't know what I'm supposed to do with the game board, and I sit down and I don't know the rules, but they start coming as I'm sitting there. You know what that feels like sometimes? You show up for a visit with somebody or an exchange or a relationship, and you have no idea where it's going to go. But you just trust that it's going to be okay. And I'm feeling like that in this moment right here with you. Are you with me? So I want to tell you about this visit I had with somebody who asked me if I'd seen this pamphlet about cults. And I said, and I had not this particular one, I didn't think. Seen lots of them, been in them, you know. And not personally, but I have seen the word, you know, I've seen our faith tradition named as a cult. Well, I was going on vacation, and she was kind enough to make sure that I got it in my mailbox and sent it to, you know, through another person in our agency so that I could read it. And she took some trouble to find it, went through her files, and when I came back, there it was. Well, in my former life, I might have tried to change her mind. I might have thought that it was my job to change her. But in the life I have today, I don't. Because there isn't anywhere in the scriptures where I read that it's my job to change other people. I read that it's my job to love other people, to embrace other people, to connect with other people, to forgive other people. We embrace, include, and welcome. We behold the deep truth in every person, no matter how they show up. The other meeting that comes to mind is with another person, a young woman who moved into her first apartment a year or so ago. And again, I'm tender about talking about issues of faith. I mean, this is what I do for a living, but I walk tenderly. So I said to this young woman, "Do you have a cross in your house? Would that be meaningful to you?" And she said, "No, I don't have one, and I don't want one." I said, "All right then." I had this little wooden cross that was painted from Guatemala. It had paintings of little people on it, like community kind of sentiment. She said, no, that wouldn't be meaningful to me at all. I thought, well, maybe she was Jewish or she was Muslim, and it didn't matter, And she said her faith tradition didn't use crosses. And I said, well, what is your faith tradition? She's a Jehovah's Witness. Well, that was really intriguing to me because I've never sat down and had a conversation with someone who was Jehovah's Witness. So I said to her, how would it feel to you for us to sit down for an hour because I want to learn about your tradition? And she said, great. So we made a date. She's quite a bit younger than me. She could be my daughter. She wasn't preaching, but we sat down together, and every question I asked her, she would open her Bible and knew exactly where to go. I mean, it was touching because she was a scholar from age 8. She's been studying the scriptures. She was very, very willing to share with me. There was no intention to change me or to push her agenda or to evangelize, but only to share her message. She knew her books. So why are we here then? The Great Commission directs us to go out, to stretch and to extend beyond our comfort level, really, to join together, to include and to embrace. And it ends with this: I am always with you. In the doubts, in the darkness, in the wobbly legs of new experiences, I am with you. This is what Jesus said. But in our tradition, we don't customarily evangelize. We may find words of affirmation and strength to help with others, words of inclusion and hope to those who are downhearted. But evangelize is not a word that we use too much. I don't know any unity evangelists. If you're out there, I'd like you to introduce yourself to me later. But we don't use that term very often. A nurse friend of mine is going to Liberia in a week. She'll spend 2 weeks there without showers. The best they can do for a shower is if it's raining, you put on your bathing suit and stand under a gutter and hope that you get some water. However, she did manage to figure out how she could get Starbucks while she was there. That's a Washingtonian for you.